Hola, ¿cómo están? ¿Qué tal? Qué bueno poder volver a reunirnos una vez más. Hemos tenido un lindo tiempo en esta temporada pasada. Mi nombre es Víctor, mi esposa Rosana, y estamos muy felices de estar con ustedes una vez más.
Un gusto poder saludarle y qué linda temporada que hemos pasado, qué buen grupo que hemos tenido, cuánto hemos aprendido y también nos hicimos amigos con otros papis, abuelos y tíos.
Seguramente si estás aquí es porque lo disfrutaste al igual que nosotros. Y estamos muy emocionados por lo que se viene esta segunda temporada, este segundo grupo pequeño, y sé que será increíble.
Prepárate porque creo que tienes que tener tu expectativa bien alta, porque los temas que vienen en este segundo grupo pequeño, wow, va a ser súper edificante.
Sí, Brad y Karen nos van a estar compartiendo cosas muy increíbles, cosas que nos ayudan a nosotros, nos ayudarán a ser mejores padres y nos acompañarán en todo este proceso durante las próximas 8 semanas.
Sí, estuvimos viendo el material y una de las cosas que me gustaba es cómo manejar el estrés, que a veces nos pasa como papás, ¿no? El estrés, cómo manejarlo, qué hacer para reír más con nuestros hijos. Creo que va a ser edificante y nos va a retar. Eso es lo lindo de estar en un grupo pequeño y aprender los principios, a retarnos a ser mejores y hacer cosas que nos ayuden a nosotros y a nuestros hijos a crear más comunidad, para tener más amistad.
Sí, una de las cosas increíbles de este segundo grupo pequeño es que hay una verdad tan grande y es que no hay nadie que sepa más sobre tus hijos que tú mismo.
Sí.
Que ustedes mismos. No hay nadie más. Y esa es nuestra principal fortaleza, que sabemos más de nuestros hijos que cualquier otra persona sobre la tierra, a excepción de Dios. Pero también se convierte de alguna manera en alguna debilidad, porque a veces nosotros necesitamos también ser un poco humildes y reconocer que todavía hay mucho más por aprender y que hay muchas más cosas de parte de Dios para nosotros, para que podamos seguir creciendo como padres y poder entregarle y darle lo mejor a nuestros hijos.
Y ustedes saben, de eso se trata el grupo pequeño, de escuchar lo que Dios tiene para nosotros, para ser mejores padres, para ser mejores abuelos, para ser mejores tíos, para ser mejores mamás y papás, para dar una buena calidad de vida a nuestros hijos. Pero lo más valioso también es escuchar a otros papis, a los que están en mi grupo pequeño. Eso nos edifica tanto porque creemos que juntos nos fortalecemos, juntos somos mejores, juntos podemos hacer cambios, porque cuando estamos solos a veces cuesta mucho, pero cuando lo hacemos todos juntos y hacemos los cambios respectivos, es mucho más fácil.
Así que expectantes por lo que se viene, les queremos animar solamente para tomar notas de cada lección, de cada video que estén viendo y escuchando, porque será increíble. Y compartiendo las tareas y todo lo que se viene será una linda, hermosa jornada. Así que bienvenidos a esta segunda temporada, segundo grupo pequeño de este nuevo material que tenemos para ustedes.
Que Dios los bendiga y disfrutemos esta temporada. Nos vemos pronto.
Bendiciones.
Hey guys, we're excited to be with you guys again, and hello from Texas, or hey from Texas. So if you guys joined us for the first series, your small group series, we actually looked at acceptance and of your child and your situation. So during this series, what we wanted to focus on was how to strengthen your support system. But before we can strengthen our support system, first we actually must focus on our own mental health in order to move towards community. It's very important that we focus on us first before we can understand what we need from our community. So we're going to start with Ecclesiastes 4, verses 9 through 12. And so this is, we feel like, is total definition of what community is. Two people are better off than one, for they help each other succeed. If one person falls, the other can reach out and help. But someone who falls alone is in real trouble. Likewise, two people lying close together can keep each other warm. But how can one be warm alone? A person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken.
We love that text because it not only speaks to the power of relationship, it also speaks to the power of community. And one thing that we know from research is that it tells us that the greatest enemy of mental health for people who are in long-term caregiving relationships is isolation. And the reason for that is pretty simple. The role we find ourselves in seems to be never ending. There's always more to get done. The to-do list never gets finished. And if we're not careful, this can leave us alone with our routine and no one to share the challenges and the accomplishments with. Staying connected allows us to see that we are not alone in this life and on this particular journey. Honestly, the greatest value in this series that we're going to be doing for you will not be the teaching that we do, but the conversations that you have as a result of this teaching. And so we just want to encourage you to really be invested and involved in the conversations around the questions that we will give you at the end of each session. These conversations will deepen your understanding, but more importantly, they will strengthen your relationships as you go along this journey. So raising a child with special needs looks different in some ways in America than it does in Peru. But what we have found in working with families all over the place is that there are some fundamental lessons that are universal. And those are the things that we want to teach. And we're going to just trust you that you will take these universal lessons and apply them in the culture of Peru that makes them work better for you. And we know that all of these things come from truth. And so truth is universal. And how we know they're truth is that they come from Scripture, or at least Scripture fits them and supports them. So that leads us to our first teaching. And the first teaching is what we call the rules of the game and knowing the rules of the game. The first rule of the game is this: parents know best, but they don't know everything. The reason there are two parts of this rule is because we need two things to really do well on this journey. The first is courage, and the second is humility. The first part of the rule gives us courage in that parents know best. No one in the world knows your child better than you do. And what that means is that in any conversation, whether it's with a doctor or an educator or a government person, regardless of where it is, you always have something to offer those conversations because you have the unique expertise with your child. And so we want that to provide you with courage. At the same time, we want this to provide you with humility. I want to surround myself with people who are experts in other parts of life that may influence my child's life and my family's life for the better. And so what that means is I'm going to have to be quiet and listen as they contribute their pieces of expertise to our family's situation. I hope that makes sense and that you're able to apply that as we go forward. The second thing that we need to be able to do, the second rule, is to educate ourselves if we're going to be great advocates for our kids. And sometimes I think that word advocate takes on a very formal idea or thought in our heads, but I don't want that to be the case here. We are advocating for our kids all the time. And all it means is that we're going to speak for them to help them to create their best life possible. And this is not just about knowing the laws or what rights you have or your children have, which is usually a really big emphasis in the United States. It's about knowing what exists around us. And there are a couple of things that we can do to help that. It's really where community becomes so valuable to us, because when parents get together, the conversation usually comes around to a parent wondering about something and another parent saying, you know what, have you ever heard of, or have you ever tried this? We did this and it worked for us, or we did this and it didn't work for us very well. But it's something that we tried. This is also a place where the internet can be helpful, but I want to be careful with that to make sure that the sources that we're looking at on the internet are legitimate. They've been tested, they've been proven by people that we know and trust, so that we don't fall victim to information that's not as good or not helpful in our search to try to help our kids.
So, another rule of the game is we have to take care of ourselves. If we don't take care of ourselves, sooner or later our child pays the price, or we pay the price. And it is very important for us to take care of ourselves. In your handout, you're going to should see a picture, kind of like this. We use this is our logo, the teeter-totter, seesaw. I'm not for sure what you guys call it, but we call it a teeter-totter. And that is our logo, because what we want that to represent is we will never have balance. And if you'll notice, there's a child, there's a girl holding an umbrella on one end. And you will notice that on the other end are 2 to 3 umbrellas that are not open. And you'll notice there's sky, and there's the sun, and there's clouds. And with our kids, there's always challenges. We never know when the storm is going to come. And I understand that you guys probably don't even use umbrellas. I don't even know if you even sell them there. We don't really sell them much here because we don't get much rain either. But I think we all understand the concept of an umbrella. It keeps us from getting wet, even in the storm. What happens too many times is that we make sure that our child's umbrella is open. We make sure they're always secure. We make sure that they're always healthy. We seek all the help we can have. So we spend all of our energy keeping their umbrellas open. But the thing is you'll notice the umbrellas that aren't open, and that is us. And oftentimes we fail to keep our umbrellas open. And if we really believe that God has this, we have to believe that He has their umbrella. And we've got to open ours too, because opening our umbrellas means that we're actually taking care of ourselves. Very important to take care of yourself. Another rule of the game is laughter. So, how many times do you stop yourself when you find yourself finding something funny? How often do you laugh? Do you find the opportunities to laugh? Laughter is very important. It is God-given. The interesting thing that happens when we laugh, there is a chemical in our brain called an endorphin. And when we laugh, these endorphins are actually released. Those endorphins are very important. They help us regulate stress. They help us, it stimulates certain organs in our body. When those endorphins are released, it helps soothe tension. It also relieves pain. It's a natural painkiller, and it improves our mood. So why wouldn't we want to engage in laughter? If that's how helpful it is to our body, why would we not want that? You know, this is God's way of helping us stay healthy. It's God's way of helping us stay healthy spiritually, physically, and emotionally. So once again, why wouldn't we want that? And we encourage you that when you start working on your community, when you start identifying your community, make sure it's a community that will laugh with you. So here's a story. Even in the hard times, we've got to find laughter in the hard times. Haley has had several surgeries this year for different reasons. Her last surgery, well, it was actually just not even a surgery. It was just a procedure. And so she's tired. She's frustrated. She's tired of doing surgeries this year. So as they're going through the checklist and asking her all of her history, do you smoke? Do you do this? Do you do that? they get to alcohol and they ask her, so do you consume alcohol? And she says, no, I don't. Hey, wait just a minute. I do drink cough medicine. So, and of course the nurse just dies laughing. Well, we have to find that laughter in the heart. God created that. So we have to allow that. So I encourage you to find community that not only helps you stick to these rules, whether it's helping you stay healthy, helping you laugh, make sure you're finding that community that will help you stay healthy in the way we need to stay healthy.
Okay, so we've covered the 4 rules of the game, and what we would like for you to do in your group is to have conversations on the questions that we've provided for you that talk about those 4 rules, how you're doing, and how you might be able to do them better going forward. Thank you, and we look forward to being with you again soon.
All right, see you guys.